What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know so, and this is the Waiver Wire Pickup Show. Hey, yeah, man, this is a rough week. We got the Chiefs, Vikings, Chargers, and the Cardinals on bye, so you might need some spot and play, especially with the playoffs coming up. So we're gonna get into that, and let's go ahead. Let's start with the quarterback position because Jeff Driscoll might be my top pickup this week because he's been pretty good. He's available in 96% of leagues. He's got a good matchup against Washington. Washington could be kind of a deceiving opponent or deceiving defense to face because their offense, they run the ball so much and they drain the clock, so it doesn't really give the opposing team really, or at least their offense, the offensive players, time to score. So, yeah, I still like the matchup. It's a pretty good one, and hey, if you're down Pat Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, and 4 interceptions himself, Phillip Rivers, then he's not a bad call. And then Sam Darnold has Oakland. Oakland is 30th against opposing quarterbacks. They're giving up a lot of points to QBs. I know Sam Darnold's a hard guy to trust. You don't know when he'll be good and when he won't, but it's a good matchup. And again, if you're missing those guys, that it's not, I say take advantage of it. Plus with Driscoll, actually, he should be your top priority to get. The dude has 80 some rushing yards. He has, over 80 rushing yards in the last 2 games. Yeah. Prioritize Driscoll if you can't get him. Darnold ain't a bad consolation prize. And then we got Baker Mayfield facing against Miami. Miami gives up points to the quarterback for free. So, hey, I know Baker, I'm surprised he's owned in 45% of leagues, but he's not a bad get this week. And actually, let's take a gander real quick at Derek Carr, because Derek Carr's got a pretty good matchup this week. He's got actually a pretty good stretch for the remainder of the year, and he wouldn't be a bad get this week either. He's got the Jets, of course. And he's available in 56% of leagues, which if you're owned in over 50% of leagues, you don't make it on this portion or on this video. So sorry, Derek Carr, can't do it. And then we go to running back, man. Running back, man. We're missing a few good running backs. Dalvin Cook owners, I bet you're just like, oh no. So Jonathan Williams, he kind of came out of nowhere. He's available in every league because no one expected him to come in and actually play such a vital role. And again, Houston, man, we saw it this week against the Ravens. That run defense is not as good as it once was with J.J. Watt out. So he becomes pretty valuable. It looks like for certain he will be the running back one there. You'll have Hines, of course, come in for pass catching downs and maybe some third down work, but it looks like it'll be Williams. Wilkins looks like he'll probably miss this game. He's questionable, but I like Jonathan Williams as a pickup for a plug and play. And then you got Bo Scarborough, a guy who came out of nowhere for Detroit. I think they just picked him off the street this week, but he's got an interesting matchup there against Detroit or against Washington. So maybe another guy if you can't get Williams. And then Darius Guice, I said last week you should pick up Guice. And it looks like Washington's now at this point of the season where they want to see some of their what they have in some of their rookies or some of their one-year players. They want to start looking for the future, their future stars, so to speak. And you saw that when they benched Dunbar and oh my gosh, why can't I think of his name? Oh, Josh Norman. There we go. Wow, man. But he hasn't been a good corner in quite some time, so I'm sorry I forgot your name, buddy. But yeah, so they're starting to play some of their younger players to see what they have in the future. And Darius Guice, he came in the second half. AP wasn't effective either. But I think they're going to roll with Guice. I think he's a good get if you haven't already got him, if he's still available. And then, of course, another guy here, Kaelin Balzs. He's a starter. I mean, it's not sexy what he's doing, but he got a touchdown last week. He's getting the volume, so hey ho, let's go. We know Mark Walton now. He's out for good. The dude punched his pregnant girlfriend, man. That ain't cool. That is way But I'm not into that. They cut him. They have no one else on the roster to run the football, so Kaelin Balzs, man, it's really his job to lose at this point. And before we get into receivers, go ahead, if you're enjoying the content, leave a thumbs up and become a bro and subscribe. I'm constantly pushing out content, and I need more subscribers if I'm going to push out more. So do that. It might just enrich your life. I don't know if that's true, but said it anyway. Wide receivers. All right, so not a lot to pick from. As you saw with running back, we're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. Receiver, it's kind of sort of that way. Let's start with Dee Bost Samuel, who, if Emmanuel Sanders, if he continually is going to be out, Samuel gets a huge bump here. He's been very utilized for San Fran with Emmanuel Sanders out, and even when he's in, like that game against Arizona, the first game, not this past weekend, he had a pretty decent game and he dropped a touchdown. So that's 6 points that, bam, already like gone there. So but I really do like Debo, and just looking at what he did last week, right? He had 10 targets, 8 receptions, 134 yards. The dude's getting the work, and I mean, even when they got Emmanuel Sanders, he still saw 7 targets, 4 receptions for 40 yards. He had the drop touchdown. I mean, he's looked good week in, week out. He has a few tough matchups coming up, though, with Green Bay and Baltimore, and then probably even New Orleans at that. So that might steer you away. But Devontae Parker for Miami, he's a very good option. He's been one of the most consistent wide receiver 2s, I would say, this season. He's available in a little over 50% of leagues, but he's got an interesting matchup against Cleveland here, and he's getting the volume of the work there. He had 10 targets this past week. He's getting a great portion of that share, so that's a very intriguing prospect maybe to look at. And then I got 2 Bears on here, Anthony Miller and Tyler Gabriel. They have a great matchup this week. I think these guys would be flex onlys, but I think if Chase Daniel is the quarterback for the Bears, I think that works actually more so in these guys' favor, because they have a somewhat capable passer there for Chicago, and the Giants, they've been giving up yards through there all year. So those are 2 guys you may want to look at. And then another guy, actually, Russell Gage, man, for the Falcons. Talk about great matchups. This guy, if you can't get Samuel or Parker, and honestly, I would put Gage ahead of Samuel just since Samuel has such a tough slate of games. But later in the year, Gage, he's got to face Tampa Bay this week. They're 32nd. They're dead last when it comes to giving up points to the receiver, and it's just a great matchup. He's seeing just as good volume, and as long as Austin Hooper is still out, I think he has a lot of value. He had a drop touchdown this week, man. That's kind of the theme of the episode, drop touchdowns. But yeah, I like him in this case. And then let's go to tight end. I want to start with saying, don't chase Cameron Brate. What you saw last week, what you saw this past Sunday, you're probably not going to see at all for the rest of the year. You just don't trust those Tampa Bay tight ends. But let's start with Ryan Griffin, who I think is probably if you need a tight end, he's the guy I'd be willing to grab, the guy I would want most. He has been outstanding. Darnold really loves going to his tight ends, and now with Chris Hurdon out of the picture, he has a lot of viability, a lot. And then we got Kyle Rudolph. He's on a bye this week, so asterisk there. But I think he's really good going forward. If you want a little more depth, or you really need a tight end for the fantasy playoffs, with Thielen out, he gets a huge upside, and I just really like him there. Dallas Goedert, he's got a tough matchup against Seattle, but I mean, just this past week, man, he looked outstanding against the Patriots because he's their 3rd option there, after Ertz and Alshon Jeffrey. So I think he's not a terrible option if you want to go there. And remember, tight end, man, it's such a tough position to project. I mean, the 10th highest scoring tight end this year is Darren Fells, and last week he had 1 reception for like a yard or something. So, or I think it was 18 yards. So I mean, you're for the tight end position, if you don't have one of those top echelon guys who are consistently doing well, like Kelsey, Kittle, then you really need to come in and you really need to take a chance on some of these guys. Dawson Knox, he's another guy for Buffalo you might want to take a chance on. Had a touchdown, really, that's what really saved his performance this week. He only had 2 receptions for 32 yards. But Denver, it's a decent matchup. And you might want to go there. And then a guy I like this week and for the future is Jacob Hollister, because he has really come in and taken that Will Disley role. And he's looked fabulous. He's looked outstanding. Russell Wilson is not afraid to go to him. So, again, you're just trying to take shots on guys and hoping it might work. That's what the tight end position is year in, year out. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. I'll have my mock draft out tomorrow because I'm working on it right now. And it's going to take some time. Sorry, I had to watch my kids, so I wasn't able to go do that. But I'll get that out for y'all tomorrow. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.